Here today to talk about a knife that I've actually used now for probably about 7 or 8 weeks. It's the Kizlyar Kayman, and it's sort of like a halfway between a big 10-inch, 12-inch blade type thing and a mini machete. As you can see, it comes in a beautiful leather pouch, which is great, and it's got a very much a machete type shape, and it's very weight forward, so that you can use it as a machete as well. But the beauty about this is, because it's got a fine point and fine detail down the bottom there, you can use it for pointing type work, and also for shaving sticks and that type of stuff as well. So some fine detail work with it. Overall length is about, I think it's about 405 millimeters, so it's probably got about 14 inches. Blade itself is about 10.5 inches long. The handle is an Elastron G, so it's quite comfortable in the hand, and it's grippy, so it doesn't slide at all. And it's a full tang too, which is important, so you can sort of chuck a lanyard on the end, and it's got the blade coming through the back there. The good thing about this is like all Kizlyar knives, is the quality of the manufacture of it. This thing's about 5.3 millimeters thick, if you can sort of see that from there. But it's a solid piece of gear, 65% carbon steel. And it's quite thick through the length of the spine and through the body of the blade as well. There's a bit of a hollow ground. But as I said, we've been using this now for about 7 or 8 weeks, and the longer you use it, the more comfortable it feels in your hand and the more uses you find for it. It's about $295 retail, I think, and you sort of question paying that sort of money for a knife, but when it's the quality this thing is, you don't question it at all. It's now become my favourite knife around the campground because of the multitude of uses that it can be put to. It comes really sharp straight out of the factory, and we've used it anywhere from cutting a birthday cake through to chopping up wood for the fire. And again, not being a full machete or an axe, you need to take its limitations into account, but it is exceptionally practical for what we use it for. As I said, the Kayman comes fairly sharp out of the box, and always the fun bit, but it's always a good test of just how sharp a knife is. Straight out of the box, no sharpening, just a bottle of water. Just clean cut straight through. I mean, we've been doing that with milk bottles, Coke bottles, everything. One good tip, no matter what the steel is, always make sure you give your knife a good dry before you put it away, so you don't get that surface rust that sits on it. And it's fantastic for just making up some kindling, etc. for what you're doing. Sharp blade as anything.
On their website. The other one, which is my favourite by a long shot, this is basically a machete. It's beautifully weighted in the centre there. You can see it up the top here, really, really thick steel, a lot of forward weight to it. You can use it for crutching out rabbits and stuff like that, but you can also use it for just chopping up the kindling around the camp, honing down those sticks, just getting rid of all the branches that come off the sides of the sticks if you want to make up a bit of a hut or a shade or something like that. It just really is the perfect versatile camp knife. I can't get it out of my son's hands at the moment, he just loves it. It's perfect for him, he's a 15-year-old, right through to any adult, because it's just all the weight's in the forward bit, so you don't have to do anything other than swing the knife, but you don't get super tired like you do with a big machete.
As I said, the knife itself is quite thick through the spine, and that carries right through up to the point. A bit of a slight drop point, but almost like a tanto point at the front there. Becomes quite sharp on the end there. Increases the multitude of uses you can use this for. Again, the danger of this is, because it is so handy, you might try and use it as a full machete, and while it will suffice to do that, it's not sort of good for the life long term, but it really is one of the most handy ones you'll have around the campground at all. So it's Kizlyar Kayman. Have a look at Kizlyar Knives Australia, and thanks to Zabir out there for supplying it to us. It has absolutely become one of my favourites. So $295, well worth the money. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you next time.